So the quarterback for the 49ers right now is playing with a sprained PCL. How do you do that?
I'm Doc Faisal, orthopedic surgeon with Move Smarter Health. We are sponsored by an educational grant from Kinesi Movement. I love sports. I love talking about injuries. I take care of shoulder and knee injuries, and I operate and treat on them. And please consider this an educational, informative video only. Here we go. So the posterior cruciate ligament, let's pull this here. Well, this is broken. This is not broken. So, your posterior cruciate ligament is in the back. Your anterior cruciate ligament is in the front. Now, the PCL is most important for which kind of athlete? We know based on how many athletes actually get their isolated PCL reconstructions done or need the PCL the most, it's motocross. Motocross absolutely need their PCL. Now, typically the most common type of injury with a PCL is a dashboard injury. You go like that and the PCL blows off because it gets pulled. So tibia is going this way, right? Posterior. It blows the PCL. Now, that's not saying that's the only mechanism of injury. There's several types of mechanisms of injury. Again, based on the kinematics that we know, interpreted from other people's injuries, but also from cadaveric data. We have no live kinematics of how the PCL got injured. Now, if you have a PCL strain, it's just stretched a little bit. It doesn't mean it's completely torn. Now, most of the time, the most important ligament, especially in any type of active sports, including soccer, football, well, baseball's not really an active sport. Oh, did I just say that? Oh. Let's just cut that out, or shall we leave it in for comments?
Well, come on, you should be loving baseball right now. You got your...
I know, the Jays are in there. Although I will say I'm not a huge baseball fan. I think if it were to come down to it, Jays and the Giants, if they were to play, ooh, that'd be a tough one. Because I actually will say that I was not much of a baseball fan, except when I was in the car when the Jays won in '93. I was hooting and just like saying, yay, go Jays, right? Because I was with a couple of buddies that were all baseball fans and they won. And we just went out on the streets and just kind of cheered, right? I'm not a huge baseball fan, but I definitely have been to more Giants games than any other baseball game. So I'm kind of a Giants fan.
Good call.
Good call, right? Did I save myself there? Maybe. Yeah. Thank God. Yeah, there's still going to be comments down below. Someone's going to comment on the shirt. It's like, where's that ugly shirt you were wearing the other day? Do you believe that? It's like, I'm trying to educate people on the fine kinematics, the complex kinematics of the knee, trying to make it simple, and people are commenting on my shirt. How's this shirt?
Welcome to the internet.
Welcome to the internet. Yeah, maybe I should just wear like a hockey jersey or something. Maybe, actually, that's not a bad idea. Yeah. So, where was I? So we know that the ACL is the most important because it allows you to pivot, stabilize, and mobilize and move. Lots of people that we know based on the natural history of PCL tears have PCL tears. You can have partial or complete, and people still function with PCL tears, primarily because there's an entire huge, massive soft tissue envelope behind the knee in the posterior capsule as well as the hamstrings. But in the front of the knee, it's kind of like, you have the patella, which is a pulley type of mechanism, but there's not as much in the front. So if you think about it, you have a major tendon here, empty, and you have muscles all around here. In the back of the knee, there's a whole confluence of muscles going up and down. So three-dimensional anatomical structure alone implies that you would have more ability to stabilize for a partial strain of your PCL or even a complete tear of your PCL. And the other thing is, here's the kicker, literally. 50% of defensive linebackers have no PCL. In pro sports, in the NFL. So, and what do they do every day? They crouch down and they push. So they get slammed all the time, but they can still do what they need to do in the sport. So that's sort of a short answer to the longer answer of PCL kinematics. It's a much more complex answer that, even I would say you get 100 orthopedic surgeons in the room that only do sports injuries, you would have a very engaged discussion about that. But in the simplest of terms, the PCL is not as vital as the ACL is to active dynamic sports in the manner in which we play, but also from an anatomical standpoint. However, if you bend the knee in this position, the PCL is vulnerable. Okay? And that's why in motocross, they need the PCL the most. And they're the ones that even if you have an isolated PCL, meaning it's the only ligament torn, you still fix it in those like heavy duty, pro, competitive motocross players.
So when Mac Jones is like, there was a couple games ago where he was wincing in pain a lot.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, he probably had his knee bent and it got hit.
How was the injury? Did he land right on it? Because the common injuries.
He was getting sacked.
He was getting sacked. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to say. But so I would say that a quarterback getting sacked, landing on the ground, it's the same as if you went back like that. That impact injury, boom. So what happens? This goes here. Everything else goes forward, right? So that type of impact could happen, and yeah, he may have strained it, and then he needs the proprioceptive kinematics. But he's got. For a quarterback, he is so engaged with his hamstrings, his gastrocs, his soleus, his plantaris. All of the muscles around the back of the knee are just like really dialed in for the most part. For quarterbacks, they have to be. The amount of movement they have, they are scanning and they are twisting and moving and scrambling. So I would say that's probably the biggest advantage. Could you and I get away with a PCL injury? We could probably both have a complete PCL tear and it'll never affect what we do. Well, I shouldn't say that because I'm an amazing athlete.